3D tutorials. Today's video we're going to talking about IK, FK and how we can create FK and IK in the same. And yeah, so the IK or FK, it's basically be using for the arms and legs. It is very good, but this can also be used for other objects. So starting by it, I have what the first thing you need to know. If you want to use IK, you will not create something like a straight joint. You need to actually go ahead and rotate the joint a bit, because Maya will not know it. So something like this example, as you can see here. So they have kind of curved a bit, so Maya can easily know which direction you need to create the IK for you. If you do this like this, I can just show you this very quickly. Go to the rigging, IK, and select this like this. Which position I will get, I don't know. So now I am getting this position, because Maya is saying maybe it is this position you're looking for. So that is these things you need to know when you're building your joint. So I think, what is this? Not use this. So this one, actually I will show you the manual, which is FK controller, and I will also show you IK controller to it also. So before I saying it, if you want to use IK and FK, you need to create three type of the joint. First one is the joint self only, and you duplicate this joint and rename it to the FK, which is this, and you need to create FK control for the root and for the for this one as well. So you need to have this controller to it to control the FK. And the next, which is last, that is the IK. So for the IK, the same thing for the root, for the IK handle, and sometime if you want to rotation the joint or direction of the legs or whatever it is. So that is important. You need to have all these things. So just get this and duplicate this 2 times, FK, IK, and create the controller as you need. So for now we will start by the IK. So how we can make an IK? The first thing we want to do, select the joint, the root joint, and select this, the controller, shift selected, P for parent. The parent tool, we can use it there, but sometimes it is some of the area we cannot using it. It will be showing in the FK. So this one, which is the IK handle controller, we need to connect it later. We need also parenting it to the controller root, P for parent. So now we have everything parenting, and you can also parent this one to this, of course. So everything has been parent. So how to make the IK? It is very easy. Double click, you can find it in the rigging shell, and here it is. But if you want to go to rigging and skeleton, find it in create IK handle, reset the tool and use this one, because if you're using the second one, which is the other, you cannot use this controller for it. So reset tool will be good. So select the first and the last. So excuse me. So now we have creating the IK handle, which is this one. So the thing we need, selecting it, and we can just testing it, it work. Select this and shift select the controller, P for parent, and that it is. So we have this controller can control the IK. If it is this and not for your project, so you can just keep it for this. But if you want to have rotation, so the next step will help you to control this. So to give the rotation for all of this joints or legs or whatever it is, so we can do this by actually we need to select the controller and shift select the IK handle. Be sure you have selecting the IK handle self. Where it is not. So select this, control, select the IK handle, and go ahead to constraint. And now you need to use pole vector. Reset the tool and add. What it does now we have this IK handle, and with this one I can just move it to the left or right or which direction it is. So I just undo this a bit. So here we go. So now we have creating the IK controller. So that is also important, you use the layer to make the FK also if you want to use the FK and IK. That is the first way to creating IK. If it is not, so you can just stop and your project is good. But if you want to have only FK, so that is a way how we can do this. So I have already created a controller, as I say. Select this, the joint root, shift select the controller, P for parent, and it moved, that is good. Now this, if you have more in controller here, all these controller need to be parent to the root controller. So select this, shift select this, P for parent. So everything has been parenting. Oh, good. So, but remember, if you want to control this, you cannot say, okay, I can just parent this joint to it. It will not work. What will happen? Select this, shift select this, P for parent, you're losing everything. So it is not this way we're going to do this. We need to use the constraint. Select the controller, shift select the joint you want, go to constraint, go to parent, reset the tool, and adding it. So now, as you can see, we have FK controller. Okay. The last thing I will show you is how we can connect these two together, the IK and FK in the one joint. So I go ahead and put the FK to this side and the IK to other side, and I will show the original joint. The original joint or skeleton is this we need to put to our character for the skinning, so that is important. So what we want to do here, we want to connect these to this joint. So how we can do this? We select the first IK, second the FK, and go ahead and select the joint, the original one. Go to the constraint, go to rotation, erase this, and make sure they are not checked. So go ahead and adding it. So you're saying it is snap, and that is because it is snapping between. You need actually do not do this like this I do, because I have just moving these things to just show you this. If you want to make it correct, you don't need to move the FK and IK, but just for this to understand what is going to be happened. So select this, select the FK, and shift select the joint original, go ahead to the constraint, go to rotation, press this. So what has been happening now? If I move the IK, it will move this, and if I move this one, it will also move it. So, but they are not exactly that. This joint is not snapped to this. The reason is, if we look into this IK1 and FK1, which is 1 1, it is half. So if I think IK need to be 0, so this joint going to this, and if I make it opposite 1 and 0, so it will snap to the IK. And that is we need to do for everyone. Every of these have a rotation. The same thing with the second one. Here it is just renaming is different. If I put this to 1 and the second to 0, it will snap this. Of course you need also select this. I just show you this, it is not this you need to know. IK to 1 and that is to 0, so here you can see everything is snapping. Go back some step, go back here to 1. So that is just to understand what is going to happen. So now I have creating a controller. This controller I will add IK and FK, and all these rotations constrainer need to be added to this. So what we're going to do first, select it, go to edit, add attribute. Remember, when you typing the long name, which is the name, do not use the capital. Sometimes if you want to use Mel or Python script, it will not work. Sometimes you forgot it was with a capital or a small letter I have writing it. So for now, I just say IK. Minimum 0, maximum 1. Go to add. Here you can see it. FK, 0 and 1, and go to add and OK, or call it close. So now we have adding these things together. So how we can connect it now? To connecting it, we need to go to Windows, General, and connect the editor. Here we go. And maybe I'm positioning it here. Select this controller, reload to left. By default, the left display will show it like this. So just check this off so we don't need to see all these other things output that are there. So what we need to connect to what? Actually, the first thing is I select this one. You need to select your joint constraint. So which joint it is, that is this one. So you need to actually go ahead and find your joint original rotation constraint, which is this one. Selecting it, reload to the right, and for the right I have used this. Okay, so we need select IK and to IK v0 and FK to the FK v1. So they are now connected. So the second one we need to do is selecting the joint 2, which is this one, reload to the right, select the IK, first one is a IK, and FK with a FK. So now they are connecting. So how I know this one was the IK was the first and FK was the last? That is because I have selecting the IK and then I select FK and then I select this when I create this constrainer. So that is important, you know which direction it was, so it will help you. So what we got there, so here we have, if I put it to 1, you can see it's snapping to the IK. And if I put it to 0 and put this to 1, it will snap to FK. So that is very nice, and 1 by 1, as you know, it is the between. So how I can make it easier for animator to just have one value instead he does, let's say he want to say 0.3, so how much it needs, so sometimes can be complicated. So for now I just put it to the 0 and 1, or 1 here and 0 here. So how we can do this for animated to be easier? So that is a Mel script we need to use here. So how we write it? Actually we need to ship this. Of course you can just select all the other if you want and go ahead and hitting in the selection. If you don't need to see it, or if animator not need to see it, this is a way to do this, cleaner for it. So what it is we need to do is go to Windows, go to Animation Editor, Expression Editor. There we go. So what is the idea behind it? The idea is, so the thing I need actually to make it small and bigger, you can control and mouse roll will make it small and big. So I just make it bigger to see it easier for you. And the thing we need to do, I have typing. FK is 1 negative of IK. Why is FK and IK? That is the same name of these, IK and FK. It will show you big, but they are actually small, because as I say, when we have creating add attributes in the long thing, I have writing it with a small, so I need to writing it small here. But the name of the controller I have is FK with a big FK and underscore IK dot. We need to add this dot to it, to this. So what it is going to do, it is saying this controller FK is 1 negative of the FK IK, the IK. So that is the controller. You could also name it for controller. You can just type create, rename it if you want, but for now it's okay. So what it is, when I type this to be 0, I don't know if you can see it. When it is 0, the IK have not influence, and when it is 1, they are going to this, and automatically it will be changed. Let's see, 0.5, that is again the between, the other is between, so Maya will, or the script will manually calculate these things. So in this case, we don't need the animator to see this, so we can just go ahead and hide the selection. So if he wants to go to back and forth, so he can do this by this way. If he want to have to be very exactly 0.1, maybe I want to be more to the IK, so it will be also this. So now it is be controlling. Of course the movement will not work, it is the rotation constraint, so the rotation will work for this. And we can also do the everythings, and anytime you want also work with the IK, just type 1, and here you have your IK system. It will work. So just remember, when you have creating this controller, you need to actually add the original joint to your character body. So that was the basic thing about the IK and FK. So thanks for watching.